My name's James Waterfield from my little company Lawn of the Dead, which is something I do where I really make sculptures based in on horror movies and that kind of horror theme. And I live in Selsey, which is a little seaside town not far from Chichester and Portsmouth. So obviously the beach is a really good place for me to focus, walk my dog, relax, find kind of like pieces that I can use and use in my sculptures. So you can see Bertie helps me always find that we're buried treasure, so I'm always searching for really interesting pieces of wood, isn't there? Shells, stones, crab's legs, crab claws, always interesting things that washed up that might make a really good piece of a sculpture. So something like these little crab claws might make little kind of alien legs, don't they, Bertie? Yes? Come on. So you've always got to find really, really interesting bits of driftwood, always really interesting shells, always pieces I can always use, obviously put into the sculptures. But things like crab legs and things like this, I will have to bleach them, take them home and bleach them, but they make really good, interesting things like alien claws and stuff for sculptures. Don't they, Bertie? Yeah? You're always helping me find them. Yeah? I started off making my sculptures for myself, just purely to interest me, fun things I liked. But, I knew there was a lot of people who are into that whole kind of geek mentality. There's a lot of people who are interested in, sci-fi, monster movies, fantasy, and so I knew there's a clientele of people who really like my stuff. It's not for everybody, but, that doesn't matter. Because I called my little company Lawn of the Dead, as you can guess, with a lot of my work it's garden ornaments. So what I really like to do is get old garden gnomes like this and remodel them and repurpose them and turn them into scary gnomes. So this is obviously just an ordinary garden gnome where I've rebuilt the face to give him a more horrific expression, and he's got a chest burster from Alien bursting out of his chest. So being a massive monster movie nut, I've got to make the classic alien egg from Ridley Scott's Alien. But like with all my materials, they're really, really cheap and easy to make. So obviously you see this side has been sprayed. Obviously this will be lit dramatically for Halloween, but it is actually just paper mache, really, really easy. Built really thickly, paper mache, and this is just from Poundland insulation filler to make that the kind of lips, the opening of the egg. I make them to make myself laugh, I suppose, to begin with, and things that amuse me, and then hopefully, they make other people happy. Yeah, I find art is very therapeutic. It always has been. A lot of people don't really understand that concept of making and crafting is a very kind of sort of like therapeutic process. It's very relaxing. And when you make something you're really happy with, it's a really nice experience. With my older students, it's almost like subconscious. So they're doing a project at the moment about Tim Burton and kind of making their own sort of like horror movie creation. So you can see even the way I've made my zombie gnome with the kind of like Fly Agaric kind of mushroom hat. One of my students has kind of sort of like really got into doing the same thing with her kind of living mushroom, where she's really, really painted it well. We've got some great kind of sort of like sculptures over here. Stranger Things, another great geek program. You can see some kids have made some sort of like demogorgons. I started being a teacher because obviously I finished university. I had a degree in arts. I then did some travelling around the world. So, I went to Australia, lived in Australia, came back, and I was doing just kind of sort of like, mundane jobs. Got made redundant, and it gave me enough money to kind of retrain myself, and then sort of like doing youth work first, and then been able to train up as a teacher. So, I've been a teacher now, I don't know how many years, 20 plus years. So 25 years I've been working around with young people. So yeah, that's how long. Well, I haven't really had a break, so is COVID-19. I would have liked to have been able to spend more time on my own stuff, work in my studio, but being a school teacher, it's just meant that I've worked non-stop, but I had to find new ways of working. So I had to kind of make my sculptures and do video demonstrations and learn new skills that way. So it just made me work harder. I see myself just doing more and more of what I love, really, because I've got to the point where I know it's a bit hard if you're sort of like a young student to be more financially, my job is more financially stable, where I can sort of like really start working on a workshop, thinking about more and more materials, thinking about, doing things with fiberglass, doing things with other materials, and just being able to do more. It takes a long time. Obviously, I'm 54. So when I finish my sort of like 30 years, and when I finished university, and I learnt a lot of skills, mould making, welding, while I was at university. So it was a great practical course I did. That was down in Cornwall, Falmouth in Cornwall. But it's over time. You really have to kind of put the work in and build your skills up. It's not a kind of like magical thing. You really have to sort of like work and sculpt or build up your skills, as well as sort of like networking, that kind of thing, and building up your kind of contacts through organisations that you want to be with. My hopes and plans for the future is obviously, my students get good results. That'd be really good. For myself, I just want to keep on making and do more kind of Comic-Con events. I mean, I'd really like to kind of like go. I do them all across the south coast, from Bristol all the way up to Eastbourne. It'd be nicer to kind of like, to be able to go to some of the bigger kind of sort of like London and Manchester, all the cities. It'd be really nice, hopefully when COVID ends, to think about going abroad, going to sort of like do an exhibit somewhere abroad. And also I'd like to be, working with like local filmmakers. It'd be really nice to do something with local filmmakers, whether that's a short movie or something. That'd be really good to create something for them.